Good afternoon and welcome to Covfeed. I'm Joe.
And I'm Frankie. It's 3 p.m. and we've plenty of local student-based news for you today.
Like an exclusive interview with Sir Alan Bates concerning the ongoing fallout of the post office scandal.
What Coventry rugby players think of potential return of Wasps RFC.
And our lifestyle correspondent Lila Keown has all the top tips on staying fashionable sustainably.
Now, Sir Alan Bates has been all the buzz in Coventry recently and received his honorary doctorate from Coventry University yesterday.
Our reporter Sid is bringing us the latest from Coventry Cathedral.
The Coventry Cathedral behind me was the venue where Sir Alan Bates received a prestigious honorary doctorate degree by Coventry University. The award was part of a ceremony of this year's November graduation week. Sir Alan Bates is known for his work against the post office scandal, which led to criminal convictions, prison sentences, and at least 4 suicides. The recent budget made provisions for the people affected by the scandal. However, Sir Alan thinks that they are not enough. We spoke to him in an exclusive TV interview for Covfeed.
The lack of clarity behind it, just coming out with a number really doesn't help a great deal. What did it cover? Well, did it cover all the legal fees? Did it cover the cost of the statutory inquiry? Or is that purely for the financial redress for victims? It was the lack of clarity, which I think we're trying to resolve at the moment. But in the past, numbers have been quoted, and this wasn't a great increase on what's been commented on in the past. I mean, you call it compensation. I try and correct people and say it's financial redress for money they're owed. I mean, compensation is something you sort of get if you stub your toe against a pavement or things like that and you go after them there. But this is money these people are owed, and some people have been waiting over 20 years to get it, and they need to get on with their lives, and it needs to happen soonest.
His organisation, the Justice for Sub-Postmasters Alliance, met for the first time in 2009 in Fenny Compton, just 25 miles away from here. His dedication to campaigning and raising awareness led to the immensely popular 2024 ITV series Mr. Bates and the Post Office.
It's just a bit mad at the moment, and that's one of the reasons why I wrote to the Prime Minister asking for deadlines to be set. When I wrote to him, I think it was end of September, I said a 6-month deadline should be set and that all payments should be finished by the end of March next year. And as yet, they are still sticking to their way of doing it, no matter how many years it takes. For a month I never received a response. I sent a chase-up letter about a month later. But on the day I was at the Department of Business and Trade Select Committee, I came out of that meeting having given evidence and found I'd received a letter on that day. And to be honest, it was pretty bog standard civil service speak, a rehash of stuff we'd had years ago, and it was, let's wait and see, let the department progress at their own speed, blah, 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 the usual thing. It is disappointing, but in some ways it's not surprising, because I've never really blamed politicians in this of either party. Because they're very much at the hands of the civil service in there, and it's the way the civil service leads them, and it's unfortunate, and with a new government coming in, it'll take them a little while to understand what really is going on and not listening to their civil servants all the time.
Sir Alan Bates is not the only one being recognised for his accolades by Coventry University, as Mark Robbins is set to receive an honorary doctorate by the university tomorrow. This has been Siddharth Limay with Covfeed News.
Thanks, Sid. And we hope the victims of the post office scandal will get the help and justice that they deserve.
If there's one thing students know how to do, it's activism.
University is long known as a bastion of free-running opinions and unleashed activism.
But how do these students manage their political activism with their student life?
Our reporter, Corey Wilkinson, was able to talk to some student activists about what drives them. The
conflict in Gaza has sparked protests worldwide in support of a free Palestine, and Coventry University students are a part of this movement. Throughout history, students have long been at the forefront of activist movements, and nowadays it is no different. Last week, yet another student-led protest took place outside of university buildings. We spoke to some protesters about the causes they're fighting for and why activism is so important to them.
فلسطين حرة حرة وإسرائيل برا.
Personally, I think that, especially in this day and age, young people are more and more conscious about the political climate. More and more things you can see are going wrong, especially with war. And now we're here. Why would you not be involved? Why would you not say something? People are losing their lives over land. Little kids are being taken away from their mothers, their fathers. Like, it's not on. And luckily, I'm privileged enough to stand here in front of you with not those specific issues in my life. So I'm now fighting for the ones that do have those issues. I think it's imperative that young people make the change now. To even, like, it's not small. Every little step helps. Do you know what I mean? And I think, like I say, yeah, it's so important that young people do actually go out there, say something, make the difference, spread the consciousness, say it to your racist uncle. This isn't on, and we're going to do something about it.
These protests continue the tradition of students being at the centre of advocacy involvement, a tradition that will almost certainly continue into the future. I've been Corey Wilkinson from Covfeed News.
Thanks, Corey. I think it's incredibly important that young people get the opportunity to speak their mind like that.
Now for news from across the region.
More than 300 people have been rough sleeping in Coventry in the last year. According to an investigation by local charities, the council has logged 822 counts of rough sleeping since 2021. If you see a person sleeping on the street, please report them to thestreetslink.org.uk and they will find the appropriate services to offer them accommodation or assistance. Around 50,000 pensioners will end up living in relative poverty as a result of the government's winter fuel payment cuts. Coventry residents have been warned to remain especially vigilant after a text-based scam has been telling the elderly pensioners that they are eligible for the fuel payments.
An estimated 880,000 of the poorest pensioners aren't claiming the pension credit they're entitled to, so they don't get the winter fuel payment and up to £3,900 a year pension credit.
The government has confirmed that a local Coventry hotel will be used to house asylum seekers. However, a Coventry City councillor has said that this is taking place without permission or consultation from the council. Richard Brown, the Cabinet Member for Finance, has warned that the hotel in question has been recently rejected for claims due to its isolation from services, community safety and security. Unauthorised works have taken place at the Oak Inn on Gosford Street. As a Grade 2 listed building, all works are supposed to be confirmed with Coventry City Council. However, a spokesperson from the council has confirmed that no applications have been made. This is currently under investigation by local police. An arrest may be made if the building is deemed to be in violation of Grade 2 codes. Now, Coventry University has been emphasising how its students should be learning more about sustainability.
Fashion students have been piecing together outfits with reused items. Our entertainment reporter, Lila Keown, has gone over to look at their new exhibition.
We're here at an exhibition in the beautiful Dealey, Derbyshire building, which I've not been into before. It's so exciting. So the exhibition is a work done by some pupils at schools in the Coventry area, where we've gone in and we've been teaching all kinds of creative things, where they don't always have the opportunity to do creative outputs within the school academic subjects. So they've been here making self-portraits or aprons and bags, all kinds of stuff.
Libby and Anna have kind of raised the money from the local arts council to be able to go into the schools and take the clothing from the Mighton Hospice and upcycle it into these wonderful, beautiful creations.
I entered an apron, so mine's actually behind you. It's the one that's kind of chaotic with a lot of denim. I love it because, I'm doing fashion now at university, and it's something that the industry really needs. There's lots of different schools here, lots of different children with different ages, and it's just bringing together more people that like the same sort of thing, which is really useful.
We're in a fashion environment, and we've done a lot with textiles here. There's loads of denim. If you look around here, lots of jeans and denim has been used, and denim it's great and it's durable, but it does take an awful lot of water to create it. So any opportunity to reuse those denims and lots of the fabric is so important.
Broadweavers are now do bursaries for fashion students going into university. So like a lot of these students will then go on to apply for that.
It's so difficult to turn around that fashion industry. So if we could start by encouraging the younger generation to value those resources a lot more, then that can only be a good thing.
It's incredible just how creative students can be.
Definitely. Now, here's Matt with the sport.
In today's sports news, huge reports of Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola signing a one-year contract extension. However, the club are yet to comment on the widely speculated rumour. In the Nations League, England and Wales have been promoted to League A of the Nations League, showcasing strong performances throughout. Scotland also secured a playoff spot into Group A or B, while Northern Ireland climbed into B. These promotions enhance all nations' opportunities into the paths for the 2026 World Cup. On the international stage, the Lionesses are preparing for a series of friendlies to close out 2024. Matches include a rematch of the Euro 2022 final against Germany and a high-profile clash with the USA at Wembley. These games are part of England's preparation for their 2025 campaign. In rugby, England faced a challenging Autumn Nation Series, losing 29-20 at the Allianz Arena to South Africa. Scotland impressed with a win 59-21 over Portugal, while Wales suffered a heavy defeat against Australia 52-20. Key fixtures including England and Japan and Scotland-Australia are still yet to be played. Huge news for MotoGP now, as the company has extended its broadcast agreement with TNT Sports in Ireland and the UK. This deal covers free-to-air coverage, sprint races and selected Grand Prix. One of them will be the British Grand Prix. This is hoping to broaden their audience reach in 2025. The season kicks off on February 28th in Thailand. Coventry Rugby were flying at the end of last season. However, this is not the team the team that is the talk of the rugby world. Here's our reporter Robin Byer with more.
Coventry Rugby has been on the rise in recent years. Currently undefeated in the Championship, they have high hopes for promotion and cementing themselves as a key part of the city's sporting identity. While Coventry Rugby can enjoy their success and push for a league-winning season, there's growing intrigue of a familiar club returning. Wasps RFC have applied to join the second tier for the 2025-26 season. Having gone into administration in 2022, it would mark their first return in 4 years. I spoke to Coventry Rugby captain Jordan Poole and teammate Obina and Watcher to get their thoughts on how this could impact the rugby scene.
I'm obviously I've spent a fair few years at Cov now. I'm not from Coventry, but I know of the damage that they did when they left in terms of businesses and money owed and stuff like that. So I can only go off of what I've heard. I think there's positives and negatives of them being back in the league. They're a great outfit. They've been around rugby for years. They're almost like a franchise. They're well known. They'll get good following. If they came back next year and they're based in Surrey and they come back to here, it could be a potential sellout ground for us and has that little added edge to it. So I don't see any problem with it. But it's one of the things they've got to do right on the sense of probably paying back the debts that they own. It's more for the businesses around here.
I've seen a lot of contrasting opinions. Where I stand on it, I think it could be really it could be positive in that they are really a big team in terms of rugby. They've got rich history and have achieved a lot. So having them in the same league, if they are in the same league or whatever happens, would be big for the league as a whole. And you know, I know they were here for a little bit and they've got plans elsewhere. It'd be big to have a name like Wasp in your league to play against, full stop, let alone, you know, a win or whatever it is. So I think it could be really positive, and I'm sure they've got a lot of diehard fans, obviously, who've travelled when they were in London, travelled to Coventry, and now they'll be going to Kent. So, you know, it brings community together as well. So I think it's definitely a positive thing, and if it goes the right way and it ends up being the case, it can obviously be a really good thing for them.
Thanks, Robin. I hope the Wasps are going to feel right at home at their new home in Kent.
And hopefully not freeze in this awful weather.
Let's hope not. Here's our weather correspondent, Jack Wolf, with more.
Hi Frankie and Joe. I'm glad it's warm here in the studio because it's quite chilly everywhere else. For the rest of today, the weather will be sunny but chilly with a frosty night ahead. Temperatures will range from a low of -3 degrees to a high of 1 degree. Winds will be light from the northwest, reaching up to 9 miles per hour. This evening and the first part of the night will see variable cloud and scattered snow showers moving in, also from the northwest. Dry and cold later on to be expected with clear spells. The Met Office has issued a yellow weather warning from 4 p.m. today to the early hours of tomorrow. Icy patches will lead to difficult traffic conditions, so make sure to stay safe on the roads and the pavements. Tomorrow is set to see another cold day with a mix of sunny spells and variable amounts of cloud, mainly in the afternoon, with the chance of snow as well. As we look to the weekend, expect to see wintry showers, with Saturday seeing heavy rain and strong winds. Stay safe out there. Back to you, Frankie and Joe.
Thank you, Jack. That's all from us. Check out our social media for more news and coverage at Covfeed UK at CU.
And be sure to check the Covfeed website for more in-depth look at the protests around Coventry. This has been Joe.
And this has been Frankie. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Wow.